Let me take you back to 1983. Bangladesh, a country torn by poverty, floods, famine, fragile systems. And in the middle of it, a professor with $27 and a wild idea. His name? Muhammad Yunus. His plan? Lend money to people the banks wouldn't touch. Poor people, women, villagers, people with no collateral, no credit history, no chance. And the world said, "That's cute, but it'll never work." He said, "Watch me." Now here's what gets me. This man didn't just fight poverty, he disrupted the entire banking system. Traditional banks, big buildings, big suits, big egos. He studied them all, then did the opposite. They lend to the rich, he lent to the poor. They operate in cities, he went to the villages. They prefer men. He focused on women. They care about your past. You bet on your future. They hire lawyers. He had none. They're owned by shareholders. His bank? Owned by the borrowers themselves. Let that sink in. The people who were once seen as unbankable became owners of the damn bank. But it didn't start with a plan. It started with $27 and 42 borrowers, each one paying it back, each one changing their life with just a little trust. Yunus took that proof, walked into banks, said, "Look, it works." They laughed, dismissed him, called the poor unreliable, said it wasn't profitable. So he did what all great disruptors do. He stopped asking for permission and built it anyway. Grameen Bank was born. A bank with no lawyers, no skyscrapers, no suits, just vision. And village after village after village lifted themselves up. Today, Grameen has lent over $40 billion to more than 10 million people, 97% of them women. Not handouts, not charity. Loans with a repayment rate of 96.76%. Better than most traditional banks. So next time someone says the poor can't be trusted, point them to Grameen, point them to results, and say, actually they just needed someone to believe first. But here's the part no one talks about. When you disrupt systems, you don't just make friends, you make enemies. Today, Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Prize winner, global hero, is under attack by his own government, accused of exploiting the poor, called a bloodsucker by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. You heard that right? A man who gave his life to lifting people out of poverty is now being dragged through the mud. Why? Because disruption makes power nervous. And truth? Truth always threatens systems built on fear. So what can we learn from this? You don't need billions to make an impact. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everyone to agree. You just need one thing: conviction. And maybe $27. Because that's how it starts. With one voice, one act of defiance, one refusal to play by broken rules. And if that's not disruption, I don't know what is. So here's the question I'll leave with you. What's your $27 idea? Not perfect, not polished, just possible. Because in a world chasing scale, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is start small, but start real. And that was Muhammad Yunus. One man, 42 loans. A world forever changed. But let me be clear. This wasn't just about poverty. It was about possibility. Because what Yunus really did was challenge the status quo. He looked at a broken system and said, what if there's another way? And that question, that's where every creative revolution begins. See, we live in a world built on how it's always been. School, job, mortgage, die of safety. Repeat. And most people, they follow the path. They don't question the map. But the truth is, that map was drawn in pencil. You can erase it. History doesn't move forward, because of people who play by the rules. It moves because someone stands up and says, "This doesn't work anymore." Martin Luther King Jr. didn't ask for permission. Steve Jobs didn't wait for consensus. Rosalind Franklin didn't play by the boys' club rules. Mandela, 27 years in prison, and still came out leading. And Amelia Earhart, she didn't just fly a plane. She flew over every expectation ever placed on her. These people, they weren't reckless. They were relentless because they knew. Being disruptive isn't about causing chaos. It's about creating something better. And if you're sitting there thinking, "I'm not Yunus, I'm not Jobs, I'm not Malala," let me stop you right there. You don't have to be famous to be revolutionary. You just have to be willing to challenge the usual. In your job, your art, your street, your mind. The revolution doesn't need a stage. It just needs a spark. Because here's the danger no one talks about. Stagnancy looks safe, but it's a slow death. Companies that resist change? Gone. Cultures that don't evolve? Irrelevant. People who never question? Replaceable. But those who dare to ask, what if we did this differently? They shape the future. So if you've ever felt out of place, if you've ever been told you're too much, or too idealistic, or too young, or too late, good. Because that means you see something others don't. That means you're exactly where every revolution begins. The creative revolution doesn't start in labs or boardrooms. It starts when someone, maybe you, stops performing and starts questioning. Why not? Why not now? Why not better? All right, so you're ready to challenge the usual. To be a spark in a system built on sleep mode. But where the hell do you begin? Let me give you 5 brutally honest truths for anyone brave enough to start a creative revolution. 1. Start with what pisses you off. Yunus didn't start with a pitch deck. He started with injustice. Disruption doesn't begin with strategy. It begins with frustration. So ask yourself, what problem makes you restless? What do you see every day that others just accept? That's your fire. Use it. Second, stop polishing. Start shipping. You don't need better branding, you need proof. Sell one. Build one. Test one. Creative revolutions are not won in planning mode. They're built by people who move before they feel ready. So launch ugly. Speak before it's perfect. Act before you're approved. Trust me, no one's waiting for your logo. 3. Use your weird. Your difference is your leverage, your story, your scars, your strange perspective. That's the edge no one else has. Rosalind Franklin never fit in. And thank God, neither did Malala, or Jobs, or Mandela. So stop trying to blend in. Start using the parts of you that don't. 4. Build in the cracks. Don't wait for free time. Don't wait for funding. Don't wait for applause. Yunus started while teaching. Jobs started in a garage. Most revolutions built at night, between shifts, on lunch breaks. Make space, even if it's tiny, even if it's 10 minutes a day. The revolution doesn't care how you start, only that you do. 5. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for impact. The world doesn't need another flawless pitch. It needs your dent in the system. So ask yourself, who will be better off if this exists? What change do I want to see? Even if I'm not here to finish it. That's purpose. And purpose outlives applause. This world wasn't built by the safest thinkers. It was built by the restless, the bold, the different. So no, you don't need more time, or talent, or 10,000 followers. You just need to stop asking for permission and start acting like what you see matters. Because if you're still wondering if you're too early, too late, or too not enough, let me remind you, the only thing missing from the next revolution is you.